again, I say this every single time we do it. My favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment, Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the NFL draft version of Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet. Why? Because it was brilliant. We always ask Dolphins Twitter to give us the best and the worst, and they came through once again. Chris, are you ready?
I'm born ready. I love me some Elite Tweet, Delete Tweet. This is great. Draft edition.
You're going to love this. This comes from Soapbox Mocks. Soapbox Mocks. Easy for me to say. At Soapbox Mocks. Dolphins could have had 2 firsts in 2022, but decided to go up from 12 to 6 to draft a 5'9" wide receiver. Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet?
Delete. Who are you going to get at 12? Devontae Smith went at 10. Jalen Waddle went to us at 6. Someone else is taking Jalen Waddle. Wait, what are we drafting? Tooney, like from Florida at 12? Like, yeah, no, Delete Tweet, bro.
I 100% agree with that. That is 100% a Delete Tweet. Look, they needed a wide receiver. We saw what happened. Did you see, the garbage pail kids that we put on the field as our wide receiving core week 17 against the Buffalo Bills with the playoffs on the line? You need to get a wide receiver. We said all along on this show, Chris, if you get Waddle, you get Smith, you get Pitts, or you get Jamar Chase, you're sitting pretty right there. They got Waddle, who by all accounts was their best player on the board that was realistically able to fall to them at 6. They got him. He wasn't going to be there at 12. Those other people weren't going to be there at 12. You'd be sitting there looking at trying to justify, I don't know, Micah Parsons or something like that at number 12. No, that's a Delete Tweet. They got who they wanted. They stuck to their game plan. You, sir, are wrong, Mr.
Yeah, imagine staying at 12 and we still put out the Navy quarterback at receiver and we got a middle linebacker. Like, okay, yeah, good call, buddy. I'm glad you're not our GM. Soapbox Mocks.
I agree. This one comes from Joe Shad at Shad Joe. You know Joe Shad. I know Joe Shad. Joe Scad. I don't know how to say his name, but he says, Dolphins slated to draft in 5th round today. This is before we traded out of it. Among former 5th rounders for Finns, Rashad Jones, Jay Ajayi, Bobby McCain, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Devon Godchow. Now, Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet?
Well, we didn't pick it in the 5th round, right? We traded out the Steelers.
Well, he at the time, he was saying that they were going to pick in the 5th round, and he was saying notable 5th round draft picks from the Miami Dolphins, and he listed all those players.
Was Zach Thomas not a 5th round pick or a 6th?
Zach Thomas was a 5th round pick.
Yeah, so he missed out on Zach Thomas. Thank you. And that's off the cusp, buddy. We did not pre-plan this. And he instead mentioned McCain, who we cut a week later, and Andrew Van Ginkel, who had 4 good games. Meanwhile, Zach Thomas, a 5th round pick, notable 5th round pick, who won Rookie of the Year, not mentioned. Love Joe Shad. Delete the damn tweet.
It is one of the worst tweets that Joe has ever done. And he's had some doozies out there, but how do you forget Zach Thomas? You're catering to the Miami Dolphins fan base. You think that we don't know like what he had for lunch yesterday? I mean, we're inspecting his poop. That's how much we know about Zach Thomas. And you're over here forgetting that he even ever existed. He's the best 5th round pick the Miami Dolphins have ever had. And you just left him off the list.
That's proof. Sam Wise, Zach Thomas is not in the Hall of Fame. Beat writers like Joe Shad have a vote, and they just don't even remember he exists. Like, how the hell is that possible? He's 9 out of 10 for me, Dolphins coverage wise, beat reporters which isn't saying much. That's like being the tallest midget with our beat reporters. But Joe Shad's a good one. That is a sucky tweet. That sucks.
That does suck. And speaking of midgets, this next guy, I'm pretty sure has stepped on a couple of midgets in his day during his old career. This comes from the Iron Sheik, Chris, at _Iron Sheik. Yes, that Iron Sheik from WWF.
I'm gonna bet my paycheck it says jabroni in this tweet.
Well, I need you to write that check over to me, but let's just see if this is an Elite Tweet or a Delete Tweet. This is what he says here, Chris. Tua Bubba, your job is safe. Now go be the fucking man. Hashtag NFL draft.
That's an elite tweet. It's the Iron Sheik caring about Tua Tagovailoa, and he called him Bubba. Like this is fantastic. Like Tua Bubba, this is the Iron Sheik rooting for you. Go be fucking great. Are you kidding me? Elite tweet. One of the elitist tweets we've had. It's fantastic.
Well, there you go. I agree. It's the Iron Sheik. I mean,
and that's why he didn't say jabroni. He was being positive.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's two things that Iron Sheik says. He says what he just said there, where he called him Bubba, or he breaks your back, fucks your ass, and makes you humble. Those are the two things that Iron Sheik tweets out, and he tweeted out that one. It is absolutely an elite tweet. If Iron Sheik is tweeting about you, that goes on the resume. That's all I'm saying.
And in my best thing, speaking of resumes, you've got Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd negative against Tua, and then you've got Iron Sheik positive. Guys, we got a franchise quarterback. We're good to go.
I think so. And really, quite frankly, Iron Sheik should have his own show on ESPN. I mean, let's be honest. Just let him talk about whatever he wants. I mean, every other word's going to be bleeped, but it'll be
maybe ESPN 3, but give him a show.
Yeah. Well, speaking of ESPN, this guy's been on ESPN, and you mentioned his name a little bit earlier, Manny Diaz, at @coach_Manny Diaz, the head coach for the University of Miami football team. He says the best defensive player in the draft is now a Miami Dolphin. And better yet, he is 100% Kane for life. Thrilled for Jalen and Coach Flores. Great pick. Elite tweet or delete tweet?
So I'm not going to say delete tweet because come on, but obviously this is like fishing for recruits and panderizing the organization, the school, the university. He could have sucked and he would have said that. So grain of salt, but elite tweet because that's the only other option. But best defensive player in the draft. Now, Manny Diaz is defensive coach. He's defensive coordinator. He knows his stuff. And if he's going to go out and say that, man, he's going to look like a piece of shit in 5 years if he's cut or he's the next Charles Harris. That's all I know.
All right. How about this? This comes from @Finn's Tweets, also known as Anthony. And he says, Tua to Waddle will be better than Montana to Rice. Elite tweet or delete tweet?
I'm going to say delete tweet. And here's why. I'm going to say delete tweet because I'm okay with the guys that defend Tua. And I do hate the just like running CM that just hates Tua no matter what he does. Like he works out and he's like, whoa, he's doing his job. You're like, dude, fucking Jesus Christ. Like, go read a book and like look at the sun. Like it'd be fine. And then there's the ones that are just like, we traded, Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips for a 4th round pick to the Jags. Just trust the process. And you're like, man, I really hate these guys. There's an in between there. Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, the greatest connection, in my opinion, in the history of the NFL. Man, they have not even played a snap in the NFL yet. Calm your tits. Delete that tweet.
I'm going to go with delete tweet as well. And here's why. This is a very nuanced thing. But as you know, I grew up and live in 49er country here. And Montana and Rice is one of the best NFL connections of all time. But statistically speaking, it's not Montana Rice. It's Steve Young to Jerry Rice, which is the most prolific quarterback wide receiver duo out there. So either Anthony is saying what you think he's saying, which is this is going to be the greatest connection of all time, or he knows this and is saying he's going to be really good, but not quite Young to Rice good. And I don't like the fact that he sandwiched him right in the middle between Montana and Young. Although if that's what ends up happening, I could go back and rescind and say elite tweet. But for now, I'm going to say delete tweet.
Yeah, technically that means he might be saying that we have an even better quarterback coming after Tua, which I'm all for. Just give me a couple Super Bowls. I'm good.
Would be an interesting one as well. Speaking of a quarterback controversy. Now let's talk about something that I actually tweeted @PerfectvillePod. And this one got a lot of traction here on Twitter, and a lot of people were jumping into this. I want your opinion because people are saying that my math is wrong, and I don't think it is. But let's decide. This says, and I quote, Tunsil trade scoreboard. Houston, Laramie Tunsil, Kenny Stills, who's now a free agent, Charlie Heck, John Reed, Garrett Wallow. Miami, Noah Igbenogany, Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, Solomon Kinley, Johnson Batamosi, who's a free agent, Julian Davenport, who's now in the Colts, the 2022 San Francisco first-round pick, 2023 San Francisco first-round pick, 2022 San Francisco third-round pick. #Fins up. Elite tweet or delete tweet?
Elite tweet. It's not even close. Look at that scoreboard. We still are winning. Like, even though those draft picks don't exist yet, like they're not players yet, we have those draft picks, and those draft picks exist because of Laramie Tunsil putting a gas mask bong on his face, and we've turned it into Jalen Waddle, like you said, Javon Holland, an extra first round pick next year, a third round pick next year. players I've never heard of. Guess who else I haven't heard of? Anybody after Kenny Stills, after what you just read the Houston Texans turned that into. So yeah, elite tweet. It's not even close. Houston got raked over the coals.
Listen, for the most part, people were in agreement with you and I that was an elite tweet, because if you look at what the Miami Dolphins are getting back in return and will continue to get back, it's not even close, like you said. However, what people are saying is, well, if you're adding in Jalen Waddle, you have to add in the fact that we gave away our first round pick in 2022 to the Philadelphia Eagles to move from 12 to 6. No, dipshits. First of all, I'm limited on Twitter with how many words I can actually put on there. That's number one. Number two, this is the net gain of both of the teams from the principal trade, from the Houston Texans to the Miami Dolphins. I don't give a shit what the San Francisco 49ers got. I don't give a shit what the Philadelphia Eagles got. I don't give a shit when the Houston Texans took one of the picks that we gave them in the initial trade and turned it into a Dallas Cowboy pick. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about the net gain that both of these teams, the principal teams in the original trade, got. And that is the Laramie Tunsil trade from the Miami Dolphins to the Houston Texans, and then all the subsequent trades from there. And when you trades, look at me, I turned into Sylvester. I thought I put a tat. I thought a trade. The original trade partners, the Texans and the Dolphins, that's all I was looking to do right there. Anybody who's scrutinizing that, shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah, and if you want to say, oh, let's look at who the Eagles pick next year with our pick, and then like compared to Jalen Waddle, sure, because that is directly tied together. But we don't move up from 12 to 6 without that Tunsil trade. So Sam, you're fully in the right. Whoever said that's a complete moron, and I'm sure it's Hot Box Mox or whatever the hell his name was.
There was one guy who said, I only see one Pro Bowler on this list. That means Houston won the trade. And I was like, here we go. Houston, at this point, with that Pro Bowler, had to give up the 3rd overall pick because of that trade, because of that Pro Bowler. So yes, absolutely winning right there. All right, I have one more here, Chris. And I said this was the draft edition of Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet, but this one, in my opinion, just needed to be highlighted. It has nothing to do with the draft. In fact, it has to do with Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, the 2 richest men in the world. And this comes from Leonard Fournette. Yes, that Leonard Fournette, @_Fournette. And he says, the 2 richest men on earth couldn't keep their girl happy, but I'm supposed to? With a lot of laughing faces. Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet?
Man, I have not seen that. That is an elite tweet, my friend. Like, that's completely an elite tweet. If they can't keep they girls, how am I supposed to? Fair. Make her laugh. I don't know. I'm in a 13-year relationship. I don't know how he done it. I definitely don't have a lot of money. Not that kind of money, especially. Yeah. I don't know. Money don't buy you happiness. My grandma said that. Elite tweet. I mean, that's tough to. They can't. I mean, yeah.
Look, it's not only an elite tweet; it's the elitist of tweets, to the point where I believe we should just change Twitter to Fournette at this point, because that is the realest shit I have ever read in my life. The 2 richest men in the world are going through a divorce, yet somehow the expectations are Leonard Fournette, Chris Cullen, Sam Marcoux, or anybody else is to keep their women happy. It's just an unrealistic expectation, in my opinion. So I agree. It is
Fournetter. Instead of Twitter, Fournetter.
That sounds wrong. That sounds like something that's going to get you a 4-game suspension in the NFL.
He can afford it.
He can afford it. All right. Let's do one more. Let's do a little bonus content here. This actually comes from today. It has absolutely nothing to do with the draft, has nothing to do with Bill Gates, has nothing to do with football in general. But it's kind of a dad joke. I thought, let's throw it out there. Let's see how people think. I don't know if you've heard yet, Chris, but the Major League Baseball organizations have told the Oakland A's owners that it's time for them to maybe consider relocating to another city, because they just can't get a deal done in Oakland. Now, as for those that don't know, the city of Oakland has already lost the Golden State Warriors and the Oakland Raiders, who moved to Las Vegas. Warriors moved to San Francisco. So the Oakland A's are the last team standing in Oakland at this point, and they are now given the ability to go look elsewhere. And the odds are, Chris, that the Oakland A's are going to relocate to Canada. And because of that, Anthony Castrovince, or @CastroVince, says, would this make them the A's? Elite tweet or delete tweet?
That's fucking elite as shit. Like, you kidding me? The Oakland A's?
I mean, how cool would it be to see their same like uniform, right? Green, gold, white, and instead of the A on the helmet, it's just an EH''S.
They just serve
Oakland,
poutine to the front row guests, and like Tim Hortons is like their sponsor on the wall. That the Oakland is. What's that about?
What's that a boot? Yeah, they no longer have like how many ounces is your bat? It'll be like
Metric system.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it up there. Kilos.
Pounds.
How many kilos is your bat?
Kilos.
Oh God. Well, with that is the end of segment number 2. Elite Tweet or Delete Tweet is now over, and I think it was, as we used to say, a very meh segment, very segment. I like that there's still the Oakland S, even though they're in Canada in this scenario too. They just keep the Oakland name.
I always hated their name anyway. The Athletics, like meaning the other 30 teams in baseball aren't athletic folks. Like it's so dumb. It be like, we're the Miami baseball players.
Well, okay, we're not too far, by the way, overtime because we're over 15 minutes, but the Washington football team, so they're not too far away. And furthermore, I always found it hilarious that they're the Oakland Athletics, yet their mascot is the fattest fucking animal on earth, which is an elephant. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's a slow, fat, disgusting animal, but we're the Athletics.
This is a whole other episode. I know it's overtime, but the Stanford Cardinals mascot is a Christmas tree. So let's get into weird mascots when the offseason gets really slow.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll put something on our nipples and just have a really good segment for 15 minutes when we talk about weird mascots of other teams as we move forward.